I look back at it now, and I would not go back and change anything because, I mean, we won the only race that even matters in my life, actually.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I don't give a about if we never win another race, I've won Dad's race, and that's cool to me. And that trumps everything I ever did. Everything I ever did. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, the Faison Nation CJFM podcast. Here we are for like
what's the name of this podcast?
I don't know, Chris.
Wait, there's not a name.
We change the name every episode.
I know. Well, when we had Mandy on the podcast, we were talking about name changing to like CJFM or like the Faison Nation podcast, and
Am I the follow up after this one?
What?
Like, was she the last one to get?
No.
Yeah,
I
we had a couple.
that's big shoes to fill.
No, I mean her feet are probably small. I mean she's not that tall.
I don't know. She's not very tall, actually. How tall are you, Chase?
Yeah,
5'10".
All right,
I think you got it covered.
Same as me. Yeah, she's like what, 5'6"?
She gotta be like a 5'5".
Yeah, 5'5".
Yeah, like an average height.
I was just talking personality wise, not like actually how tall she is.
What is?
Okay.
What do you mean? you're our crew chief.
Yeah, you're our crew chief, Chase. Come on, you're supposed to know measurements here. So, yeah, again, welcome back to the podcast. We always fool around a little bit in the beginning, but we jump right into this. We obviously we got the sprint car here behind us tonight. And last night was Bridgeport Speedway, which was a rather interesting night for everybody, including you. We had, it was a plethora of issues. I even said in like a little live thing I did on one of my personal profiles there. I'm not going to say the name because I don't like the platform as much as YouTube. So
We can't say his name?
We were Book Face Live. And
I thought we were talking about my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
Go ahead. Drop your mic. Drop it. Just drop it. Right after that one. Just.
I can't. It's concrete in here. This mic's like $300. I'm not dropping this thing.
Sorry to hear my audio level a little off today.
The guy almost cost me like 80 fucking grand. Goodness nuts. No, so all right, let's start out with this. So we're going to start out with you. Well, basically what happened on Friday night. So our Friday night ritual has kind of become a little dangerous and stupid, so to speak.
Well, now it used to not.
Yeah, it used to be we all go to the pool at my house and we all, you know what I mean? Everybody get in the pool.
We go to dinner, we go to pool.
I mean, the thing we do is still at an oval. It's still shaped like a pool, but
that's true. Everything we do is circular.
Yeah, we only know one thing.
We're so boring.
Turn left.
So basically, we used to go out to dinner, and then we would go to come back to my house. We get in my pool, have a good time. We'd all go to sleep. We'd all wake up, hit the gym, go to the races, yada, yada. Well, now it's kind of changed a little bit. You can't keep racers out of racing. So now what we do is we actually go outside and we get on these pit bikes, and we've created us a concrete / dirt
gravel turn
track, gravel turn. It's the most sketchy pit bike track on the planet Earth. And basically, Chase and I, we were racing side by side. We were coming off of the dirt, going onto the concrete, and Chase hits a part of the concrete. And I'm just going to stop right here. We're going to roll the clip. And as you can see, Chase smoked the barrier.
Absolutely.
Full throttle.
I claimed that barrier.
The hands of God came down and lifted him over it, so he did not break his chin.
I didn't blow out my leg completely because my whole leg would have been blown out.
I don't know if y'all can see this right here, but his leg is still all wrapped up and jacked up right now. So, I mean, truthfully, like, if you really think about it, how lucky you got. You should have shattered your knee, broke your leg, broke your neck. I mean, everything. So,
100%. I 100% got a gift from God. Like, 100% fully thank him for that. I guess I made the right decision to jump because it wasn't one of the decisions.
Maybe you should have played basketball, buddy.
Yeah.
That was a big jump.
Yeah. Wrong sport, buddy.
Track and field, hurdle in the could have been my thing. But.
This bitch flashed back to high school.
Oh, my whole life flashed for mine. I
bet.
How slow did that thing happen? Like, how slow was it when it was happening?
Like I said, I had 3 outcomes. And I mean, the video was like, what, 10 seconds?
7 seconds.
Yeah, 7 seconds it happened, but I came up with 3 outcomes in that time frame, and I obviously chose the right one, which was the last one.
Time slows down when you're crashing a dirt bike. It really does. It's the weirdest thing.
I will just say that big thanks to you for basically calling me cheap for not buying a helmet.
Yeah, we had to go buy some motorcycle parts, and I pretty much called him a cheap ass. I was like, just buy a brand new helmet, dude. Like, what are you waiting for? Yeah. He's like, oh, you're gonna call me cheap, huh? Oh, you're gonna call me cheap? Well, I'm gonna buy the nice helmet I can. He did. He dropped some money on a nice helmet.
Yes, sir. It's glad you did now, huh?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
It was nice for about 6 hours.
Yeah, and now it's all scratched up.
I broke it in right. I give them credit and make a good helmet.
They do.
It's got MIPS.
It's got MIPS in there, so you're set.
So I don't know what that means.
Literally, that's how our Friday started. So we're like, okay.
Well, I mean, we can go like that forward. We thought we were getting rained out. So that's kind of why we went harder.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we went real hard on Friday night. We don't drink. We just do stupid, like ride pit bikes at way past the speed.
We'd be safer if we drank.
We would be safer if we drank, yeah.
If we just went home and drank, we'd be a lot safer.
Cheaper than buying brand new wheels for a pit bike.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I have expensive taste when it comes to liquor, so it's probably the same thing.
So, I mean, that pretty much summed up our Friday night. So everybody goes home, not expecting to see each other the next day. I wake up at, I think it was like 5:45 in the morning, and I text Chase because I looked at the weather for Swedesboro, New Jersey at Bridgeport, and I'm like, no way that it's clear now. Like, the weather looked great. There was no rain until like 1 or 2 o'clock or whatever. So like, perfect, we're going racing. So I wake up, meet Chase here at the shop. I left Chris back at home so he could get a little bit more sleep.
I heard the garage door open at 8:20 and I was like, huh?
Well, yeah, because I mean, still, we didn't think truthfully we were going to race.
No, but we had to plan.
We had to half-ass get ourselves ready.
I was mad because I thought you went to breakfast without me. I was like, you got... You wake me up for breakfast every time.
And this one time I don't.
First thing he always thinks about when he wakes up.
But no, he went right to the shop, so it was okay.
Damn, Chris is upstairs. He's all depressed and shit, and I'm walking out the door going to breakfast.
Jumped out of the bed in my underwear out the window. I'm like, you motherfucker. Only you can see me.
Oh, man. So basically, we loaded up in the rain. We go to Bridgeport, and I mean, no one really thought that we were going to run. I mean, I talked to Doug on the phone 2 times, and I talked to my sister 3 times. I'm like, yo, are y'all racing? Y'all racing? Y'all racing? And they were. So, looking at the radar, everything like that. Then it comes time to go out there on the track. We purposely didn't put the transponder on the car because we were trying something completely new, and I'm very glad that we did not turn that lap time publicly.
Oh, yeah, because on my phone, I'll just say we were a lot faster than the fastest guy.
Sonny came up to me at the end of the practice and was like, was anybody else even trying out there?
He's like, oh, warm-ups? What? Oh, we're supposed to, like, not try?
Yeah. So on Chris's camera, we looked at the lap time. I mean, it was
a good thing.
Dumb fast.
It was a good thing.
Like, first place was like a good half second behind us. Like, I mean, and honestly, like, we're looking for tenths of seconds with these cars behind us. So, I mean, half of a second is 5/10, which is a ton. I mean, a ton. But, I mean, here's what we do. I mean, truthfully, like, where Chase gets his knowledge and information from is pretty much confidential on these cars. And I promise you the setup that we're running, I mean, anybody who would take the bars out of these cars and take the shocks off and dyno and be like, you guys are an absolute moron. And I've said it so many times in so many videos. The first lap of hot laps, the first lap of the heat race, and the starts and restarts are the most sketchy thing. I hate when we have cautions because I know I have to literally like hold my breath for 3/4 of a lap because this thing is a lawn dart, and I'm either going to kill myself or kill somebody else. But once I get wing speed, and we're good. So starting out, let's start with the heat race. So I go to the.
Well, first of all, we'll go to the before that. You're never pill drawing again. Anybody else is going to pill draw.
Ever.
There's a bad number, he's going to pick it.
Is it rigged?
No, because I draw the fucking pill. I know it's not rigged. Trust me, because I'm like searching around.
There's like a bunch of 48s in there. Around. Only 48s in
I don't know.
In the bag.
You know what? Erica probably sees me come up. She's like, let me grab this 48 bag.
There it is.
Erica, I'm literally kidding. I love you. I'm kidding.
Well, we got questions.
Why am I always drawing high pills? But let's think. How about this? All right. So let's take a synopsis. Let's do this. The next time I pill draw, I'm going to make Erica draw it for me.
Anybody else could draw better than you.
Okay, true.
But I want to watch everyone else draw out of the same bag. I don't
no,
want to
they
watch
did.
Okay.
So I remember I sat up there, and everybody who drew out of that bag, that's why I was like, is there 2 bags? It was no earlier than 40th. So we filled from like 42nd back to 49th. It was the weirdest thing ever. Everybody was coming up. I'm like, what the and I stirred the bag up before I even drew the pill. So I don't know.
I get a question every time, like, why don't you guys, if there's 25 racers, put 25 pills in there and then draw 1 through 25? Why is that not a thing?
They won't know until like the last minute.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Because you have people that show up late.
How hard is it to take 25 and just have them all organized?
It's hard because like sometimes we like that. Remember that one race we had like 44 cars.
I'll do it.
It was like
I'll come do it. Let me know. I'll be there. Erica, get a hold of me.
Oh man,
I get it. I understand.
All right. In my opinion, and I think you're probably correct here too. We're on the same page as far as crew chief and driver goes. We race sprint cars. We don't race go-karts down in Ocean City. Okay, let's get rid of this pill draw shit and let's go out there. You hot lap. Whichever times first, you start first in the first heat race. And you line up heads up. And then you do the bullshit 12-car redraw. They know I'm not talking shit on them or anything. They know I don't like it. But
it's bullshit.
I mean, it is. But it is what it is. So, and then you do the 12-car redraw in the feature.
See, I don't even think you should do that.
I don't think we should either. But
I guess the problem is...
Hit me. Hot take right here.
What you got, Chase?
Well, see, so I guess the problem is I've come from... The best way someone actually put it to me, I can't say his name, is I come from a professional series. I come from the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the World of Outlaw Late Model Series. I come from all that, where if you're fastest, you get the front row, you get to start on the pole, you deserve it because you put in all the work. I'm not trying to bash this series, not one bit, because I actually like racing for them, but they said it's more of a club, and I can kind of see that, Yeah, some people are doing it seriously like we are, but a lot of people just like to have fun, but the fast people will make the slower people faster. When we would go to
bingo,
when we would go to Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, I mean, you're literally racing against, just to say some names, Jonathan Davenport, Scott Bloomquist, Jimmy Owens, them people, a night in, night out. They whoop your ass all the time. Literally makes you feel like you have no idea what you're doing. It's terrible. But there's only one thing you can possibly do. Get faster. You either quit or you get faster, and pretty much every racer isn't going to quit. So you only get faster. So
I agree.
I mean, yeah, somewhat it does good to put on a good show when the person's got to come from 12th, but I guarantee you that person from 12th never wants to come from 12th. I want to draw the pole. I want it to be the most boring race possible as a driver. Yeah, if me and first and second duel, that's great, but half the time people tear their stuff up trying to come to the front because you have someone up there that shouldn't be up there.
100%. They're not qualified enough to be up there. I mean, you've got... I do say this, too, and I don't want to... we're not here to hate on anybody or anything, but, I mean, unfortunately, we live in, seventh place society where everybody gets a trophy and everybody should have a shot at the win. Mm-hmm. I think it's complete and utter horseshit that we do that. All right. Let's take perspective here.
Okay.
You spend 4 to 6 hours every single night in the shop.
I wish. It's more like 10 to 12 a day.
So, yeah. So you're spent, let's just call it.
A lot of time.
Cut that in half, it'd be great.
For retrospect, let's call it, 10 hours a day in the shop. Mm-hmm. And you're here 4 to 5 days a week, religiously maintaining the car. There's a lot of work back there. Absolutely. And anybody who says, oh, yeah, we maintenance a sprint car in one day, you're an idiot. There's no way to possibly do it correctly. Touch every nut, touch every bolt, clean all the fuel nozzles, clean everything out. You know what I mean? Adjust your high speed, your low speed, all of this kind of stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, right? Absolutely. And then you got trailer prep, and then you've got tire prep, and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Not like axle tire prep. You guys can come sample our tires if you want, because I know that was a talk the other week too. They're like, "Oh yeah, was his tires prep?" No, you idiot, or else they'd be bald.
We wouldn't make it 25 laps.
I would never. I can't even make it 20 fucking laps on a brand new right rear. And Chasey's like, you're a gasser. I understand that, but you got to think about your tires too. Because I fucked this on this race too, man. You go look at that right rear. I mean,
I don't know. This last race was just weird, but I'm all for. I mean, I'm even down. Maybe we try it one night, just like an off night somewhere. You draw one time. Even if it's to line yourself up in the heat, that is the only time you draw for the whole night. Wherever you finish, let's just say, for instance, let's say the 3 heat winners, you take whoever put the fastest time of the 3 heats, they start on the pole. Second fastest of the 3 heat winners starts second, third, and you do that so on and so forth down the line. Or you do what World of Outlaws started doing with the late model stuff. All the heat race winners draw within themselves. So if there's 4 heats, the worst a guy winning the heat will start is 4th. Instead of that guy winning the heat, he's got to start 16th or something.
Yep.
I'm all for trying it, and I mean, what's it gonna hurt? You're always gonna have somebody complaining, but I guarantee you, majority of the people that truly think they have a super fast car won't be against it. Because I guarantee you go to every single person in there and say, hey, man, would you like to start on the pole? Every single person is going to be like, absolutely. No person's going to be like, nah, man, I'll start 20th.
To hit, hit a different angle from like a non-dirt car race guy's perspective, do you think if you guys started doing what you want, so qualifying, sets your position in the heat and everything, do you think that hurts entries? Like, do you think that John Smith, who gets last every week, shows up because he knows he might get to draw second or third and might have a chance of starting up front?
I do and I don't.
You hit a good point, because I went to the series meeting a couple of years ago, and there was this, I'm not going to call a guy's name out, but there was a guy in there. He was like, they were asking, they were genuinely thinking about, redrawing like top 4, top 6, top 8 at the most. And then there was this guy that he runs mid-pack. He's there every single week. And to be honest with you, I mean, he wanted a top 12 redraw. So they get, like, I understand you have to give in order to continue keeping that car count. Like the way they worded it was, you got to give a guy a bone at the back of the pack to at least have a decent run every once in a while. But then again, and then we revert back to, are we giving out 7th place trophies here? Okay, so my brother-in-law's perspective on things, Doug, his perspective is, I want to put on a great show for the fans. I understand that, but at the same time, I'm not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past couple of years on motors and tires and cars and sponsoring series and stuff like that, and sponsoring events in order to go and start 15th or 12th or something along those lines.
Not when you won your heat race.
No.
Or you're the fastest qualifier. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I just feel like this. You should be rewarded for the work that you put in. And I saw it best here. Everybody who doesn't want a 7th place trophy should do this, okay? You should be on the side that we're on. But if you do want a 7th place trophy, maybe we have a race at the end of the night where all the non-winners of the year, there's your bone right there. And then you get more track time, which makes you better. And then obviously it's going to dwindle down the field at the end of the night. And you don't get paid for that race or anything, but at least you're getting put into a position to be better, get more laps than we did that night or something along those lines. I was a 12th, the 5th place car for the first 2 years I ran sprint cars. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really was. And then Chase came on board, and we were getting information from, a source that we just, whatever, kind of moved on from. And now the source of information that he's working with and really closely is, putting some good stuff together underneath me.
Well, and I look at it like this. So obviously you come from motocross.
Yeah.
I come from late models. He comes from everything.
3 very different perspectives.
So how I always looked at it is, as a fan's perspective, are you going to go pay to watch, like, let's just say in our area in Delaware, our 2 tracks are Del Mar and Georgetown. Let's just say Del Mar's running a weekly show Friday night. Georgetown's going to run the World of Outlaw sprint cars on the same night. Which one are you going to go to? Yeah. You're going to go to the bigger series one.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Well, in that one, all they draw, because it's sprint cars, so we'll stay in this category, they draw from when they go out and qualifying, and all the winners or second place, where they start in the dash. That's it.
Bingo.
And everyone goes to see it. Why? Because now you have 8 of the fastest people there that are in the dash are going to start in the first 4 rows. They're obviously going to put on a show.
Well, it's this too. I mean, think about this. I hate the fact that you take all the good guys and spread them out. Mm-hmm. Again, it looks great for racing, and I'm not against that. I'm the promoting side of me is like, yeah, that makes sense that it's going to be a good race. Here's the problem. You get a guy like Kevin Nagy or Dave Brown. If they start on the front row, I can guarantee you they're going to win that race. They're going to walk away. They got clean air. And by the time my dumbass comes from fucking 12th, I don't have time to track him down. You just don't. And not in these cars, at least. Not on 305s. It's impossible.
It makes sense.
Well, it's just, competition-wise, any car that gets clean air is automatically 2/10 quicker. It shows it in the lap times, shows it everywhere. Most of the people now know how to somewhat drive the car, how it needs to be driven. Well, if you give them clean air, they're automatically faster. I would like to try to, put... There's at least, in my opinion, I'm not trying to bash anybody, but there's 6 people in mass that could win any night. Well, if you let them 6 people start in the first 3 rows, I guarantee it'll be the best show ever. Because every single one of them will be dueling each other. They know how to drive. They know how to give each other room. They know how to not tear up their car. Well, some of them do.
Well, top 12 could win, but top 6 are you can race with easily.
Yeah, top 6 is they're the ones that can come from the back to the front. Because you have some people, wherever they start is kind of where they're going to finish. Which, I'm not trying to bash them by no means, but it's just how it is.
Am I like missing something though? Like, it seems like just such common sense, not to dig at anybody, but that literally sounds like the most logical thing. Like, obviously, the best people are going to put on the
You want to put on
show.
you want to put on a great show. Put the fast guys up front.
It's like this coming from motocross world. Okay, let's say we have James Stewart, Ryan Dungey, and then Villapoto.
Yeah,
we're going to put James Stewart on the line with the rest of the people, and they're going to take off. The other 2 guys, they're down a lap already, and they have to make it up. Yeah, they'll probably make it up and pass something, but James Stewart's going to just absolutely murder them
every time. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So whichever.
He's smarter.
So basically, probably all 6 of those guys makes the redraw for us to redraw.
Yeah.
Well, 1 guy out of the 6 is going to start on the front row.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe, just maybe, the other 5 will be able to make it up to him to have an opportunity to pass him. Maybe. Most of the time, it's not going to happen.
And I don't want this to seem like we're, because again, we're not bashing anybody. We're not bashing the series or anything like that.
No, I love it.
I love the Mass Series too. I wouldn't sponsor the series if I didn't like it.
Yeah. And we wouldn't be racing if there wasn't a series as close to home, would we?
No.
I
It gives people the opportunity, and I'm all for Race Saver and stuff like that. Coming from, like I said, the Lucas Oil stuff and all that. The cars nowadays are just stupid, ridiculously priced. When I looked into this Race Saver stuff, anybody can afford this. Not now with the tire shortages and not being able to get stuff, but coming from a deal that, I'll even say it, our last car that we had late model wise, it was $135,000 to go race for $3,000, basically a Saturday. And if you didn't have it, you were out to lunch. It was like, if you didn't have it, it's not even worth your time going. Where in this deal, you have people that don't have as much money as we do in this, and I'm very blessed to have what I have. But they can be just as competitive because of the rules.
Yeah, so I again, and this is when I drove Reed's car, that 15 car. It was not the best equipment at all.
Couldn't even take valve covers off.
Yeah, we were scared to take valve covers off.
Things were welded on there. I couldn't get them off.
Yeah, it was one of those deals, man, where we ran the equipment that we had because the guy who was building my car didn't have our primary car ready or our motor or anything. So I took the ride with Reed Mitchell, who actually worked for me at the time. And, Reed put every dime that he had into that car.
His whole heart and soul.
Whole heart and soul into that car. It was not a CJ Faison Motorsports car by any means. It was an average at its best, and we took what that had, and we kept. We placed third, 2 or 3 times, and then the 5th.
Yeah.
And then every time we went out, it was a top 10, and then we had a lot of top 5s in that car. It was just like that little bit more. So you can be competitive in a very average car, but this thing here you could literally take, and we could drop a 410 in and go World of Outlaw sprint car race and drop some titanium in this car. And
we sure could. We sure could.
I fucking hate when he brings this up.
Could.
He wants me to go World of Outlaw racing so bad, dude. I'm not.
But it's just Sheldon. In the fact of that. So if we went 410 racing, yeah, you can get a 410 motor for $35,000. But if you aren't spending that $65,000 on a ride or Donat or something like that, or a Scott Baylor motor like we have here,
shout out Scott.
You're just not even close. It's basically not worth your time. And it's hard to tell some people that, because some people, it's their dream to 410 race and they can finally afford it, so they go do it. But I always looked at stuff, if you can't do it 110% in whatever you're doing, you just shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Hey, plug the bottom of your mic in more. You too. I'm getting this.
Really?
Why I hear
okay?
It sounds like it's raining outside.
Oh, it might
it's
be
a bad rain outside. It's loud.
But is it though? It doesn't even look like
it is. Pull your thing off.
Okay, yeah,
it is.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I hear.
All right, everybody, really quick, if you have not joined Club Motivated, go to your app store right now. It's $9.99 a month. There's a ton of stuff. I'm not even going to list all of it, but we're having a ton of fun on there. We're doing FaceTime calls with members. We're giving out dinners with me and you. I'm taking you all on trips. I'm doing all kinds of crazy stuff, so you're going to want to join that. Go to Club Motivated in your app store, install it, create a profile. We'll see you there. Now back to the podcast. So we're on the topic of racing and stuff like that and how expensive it is. You'll never hear me complain about the cost of racing. You guys have never done that. And anytime you need something, Chase, I'm like, here's my debit card. Get whatever the hell we need.
Did you hear that, Chris?
Don't you even start. This son of a bitch ordered I don't even know what the fuck he ordered. What the hell?
Dude, Hefner Racing Products got to get a phone call.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
No, I like you.
What'd that go to? That went to, what is that place in Virginia? I was like, it's got like 2 wheels and like, is it a 114? Is it a 108? What is it, a 114?
It's actually, it's going to be a 121 by the time they get built.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And see, like, I've heard like a rough estimate of what the price is. We each could have been riding in our own Hefner Racing Products mule.
For the motorcycle eyeball.
We each could have had our own mules.
But instead, it's going to be going to, South Dakota. And then after South Dakota, it's just going to sit in the garage for like all the way until the next, bike rally wants to go to.
And Daytona be the next time I ride.
Well, it'd be Ocean City probably next.
Oh, yeah. See, I will get more riding out of
it. So then that'll be like
Bike Week already happened.
Not in Ocean City.
Okay.
But then there'll be like another 2 days that it gets ridden. And then it'll be waiting. And then the next one will be Daytona. And then it'll go to Daytona. And then it'll sit there.
Chase is just sitting there.
Instead, I got is it a Can-Am? Is it a Can-Am? It's a Can-Am thing that doesn't run more than it runs.
You got a Can-Am, buddy, right?
Oh,
God. You got the best push quad you could have.
I mean, the best part was the day we bought it. The guy goes, what are you going to use it for? We're like, to push a sprint car. And he's like, what you're not supposed to use it for. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
It's no wonder why I think don't run right. I just like seeing Chase suffer. I have all these like custom badass built 4-wheelers with snorkels and mud tires and all this that could easily start a sprint car.
When it's just like, if you watch the podcast, obviously means you watch the videos, look at his pit bike and then look at everyone else's pit bike. One sticks out like a sore thumb, and you obviously know whose it is. So I just had to go spend a ton of money. Well, I mean, I wrecked it, so I kind of had to fix a couple things.
Yeah, we can talk about this all night if you want.
I kind of had to fix a couple things, but I'm like, I might as well, catch up to them. So I bought a couple things for this one to kit it out.
And this proves how long you and I have known each other, because
it's 6 years.
Me going and buying this new Harley and all this and getting all customed out. I mean, there's not a stock part on that Harley.
I'm aware.
But it was funny because would you say to somebody the other day, you actually think I was going to Sturgis with the street or the road class?
Yeah. Someone was like, "Are you surprised that he bought a new bike?" I'm like, "No, absolutely not." The best story ever to give is the story actually me and Chris had when we realized that the toterhome that we had currently didn't work. The generator was shot in it. Well,
we realized that back in February or March.
Yeah, we thought that the generator was shot in it, so I called up our guy. Can I say his name? Can I say the place's name?
You can say it, but if you back up real quick, you came to me and said, hey, the generator is not working. It's going to cost $10,000 to fix.
No. You actually came to me. You actually came to me and you said, the generator doesn't work, because we were talking about staying the night, and I didn't know nothing about it. And you're like, hey, the generator doesn't work. And I'm like, what? So
he starts doing research at this point.
Yeah, so I'm like, excuse me, it doesn't work, what? We haven't got this fixed, what? I'm just now knowing about this, and we're going racing here soon. I got race car stuff to worry about. I can't do this. So it was actually a 2-day show that we went to go, that we were getting ready to go do it. Yeah. And, I found this toterhome. He just likes, honestly, everything. You just show him a picture of it. He thinks it's amazing. It's just something new that he doesn't have. He's like, yeah, that looks amazing.
Well, it's like, can I have it tomorrow or not?
Yeah.
Can I have it tomorrow? I'm out.
So basically, that is the best way of putting it. Could I have already had a mule by now? Absolutely. But it takes 8 to 12 weeks to get one. Well, once you say a number to him about waiting, he's out.
Yep. 100% out. I hate that.
So, it even got to the point I was about, this close to ordering the mule myself and then saying I got one. And like someone else just has one locally that they wanted to go sprint car racing and they didn't, and here it is, just go buy it. But technically, I paid for it, and he just
Johnny
paid me
Smith
back.
won this mule, but he can't afford it now, so it's available.
I'm gonna be like, this guy, he wants something else going racing, but he's got this mule for some reason. It's the exact color you want. It's got everything you wanted.
The whole package.
In it, it's almost like he worked for you and knew exactly what you wanted.
Do you want to buy it or no?
Yeah, it's for sale.
Tomorrow. Actually, the guy is leaving it in my house right now.
Yeah. For some reason, the guy had it shipped here, and he wanted to look at it here, but I guess he wanted you to see it too, so if you knew you wanted it or not. But I almost thought about that. But so anyway, back to the toterhome story. So obviously, if the generator doesn't work in the toterhome, you don't have air conditioning. Well, it's kind of hard for some people to sleep in there with no AC in the middle of the summer.
Tell me about it.
Not as cold as we keep it.
Well, so he has his father's mentality. Oh, so the generator doesn't work. That means everything else is going to stop working. So you're better off to get rid of it.
Just get a new
better
one.
off to get rid of it at that time.
And they're not that expensive, so just go grab one tomorrow.
So we found this one. Actually, it was in, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Paducah, Kentucky. It's called Chase Motorsports. You know, trucks and trailers. Super nice dude. What's weird is it's like actually talking to him. Just kind of creepy, but it makes sense. So we actually were looking at a bunk model one, but he said they're verbally committed to it. And then we were kind of degraded that we were going to have to sleep while we were dying, basically getting cooked on the inside for a night. So, you know, CJ had the bright idea. You know, ask him what else he's got. So I reached out to him. He said, I got this 2018, toterhome. Well, once I said he has another one, CJ's like, send me the pictures. I need to see it. So he sends me the pictures of it. I don't even think I got to like the second picture, and it was like the first picture was inside, and the second picture was the steering wheel. And he's like, ask him how much. I want it.
I want it.
Yep, I want it.
How far's Paducah? Can we make it there?
Well, so anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot like the whole backstory. He's like, I'm a motivated buyer. Like I'm ready to buy it now.
I'm with it. Everything. I'll wire you money tonight if my bank was open.
So, reach out to the guy. I'm like, how much are you looking for it and stuff like that. He gives us the price for it and stuff. And I'm like, once he like sent me the text message, I'm reading it out loud, and I didn't even finish the whole sentence. But the minute I said the price, so he just said, "Tell him I got it. We're driving there tonight." So I'm like,
wouldn't you know?
So I'm like, okay. Send the message.
The story of Chase and Chris begins.
So, yep. Yeah. So then, he said he'll take our toterhome we had on trade. Told him everything that was wrong with it, and said he'd take it on trade.
Just needs a little free on, buddy.
Well, so the worst part was, obviously, what's CJ not want to do? He doesn't want to drive there, but somehow the toterhome's got to get there.
Well, luckily, Chris and Chase love driving.
So, luckily, somehow, me and Chris get sucked into, we're going to drive out there. Just me and him. CJ doesn't even need to look at the new toterhome. He doesn't need to look at anything. He doesn't care. He's like, oh, I believe you. I got it. Them pictures, it's mine. It's like I already owned it. So we leave here at 10 o'clock at night, and we get trucking. Well, the best part is, too, with expired tags, barely insurance. Basically,
no, it has full coverage insurance, but
I didn't get it until like 3.5 hours into the trip.
I know, I don't ever keep the card. I keep it in my email or whatever.
I'm like, for sure.
Get pulled over.
I'm like, for sure, 8 hours in this trip, we're getting pulled over. And this thing's going to get impounded. And I'm going to go to jail.
Chase is in jail right away.
Yeah,
like, I'm getting
instantly.
arrested.
Instantly, when I looked at the tag and saw it was expired, I'm like, we're going to jail.
Jail time.
Dude, I'm at my house that night, and I called.
Chris,
you guys were like,
we were like 2 hours
2 or
in.
3 hours in, right?
Yeah.
And I called Chris. I'm like, how's Chase over there? And Chris is like, he's sweating bullets. And then all I hear Chase in the background, get me the insurance card now. I'm about to get pulled over. And he wasn't about to get pulled over, but he might have been, right? So I prolonged sending it to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to make him sweat a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why he stayed up till 7 a.m. with no problem, no hesitation.
Yeah, so
I knew that he would be very alert and looking for cops, so I sent it to him at 7 the next morning.
And plus, I ain't gonna lie, that was actually the first time I ever got to drive that toterhome, and I'm like, well, if this is a problem, there's probably other problems. So I was afraid to actually go very fast in it.
See, that's my thought, dude. It's like trying to chase a bouncy ball. You know what I mean?
And I mean the hardest thing too,
slide,
and the hardest thing too was the wheel would always jerk left. So you kind of just had to hold your hand pointed back right to get it to go straight.
Even alignment and generator.
Oh, your stuff. No. I can't hear you.
Something was wrong with your.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, way better.
Fun guys.
So basically, you all get out there to Paducah, right?
So we leave at 10 o'clock that night, and I was like, I'll take first shift because I look at Chris and he looks like he's half asleep. So I'm like,
after midnight, I'm useless.
I'll take first shift. Don't worry, buddy. Well, so we actually drive all the way to basically the Virginia line is when we stopped for fuel, and then that's when you got some McDonald's.
Oh, hell yeah.
Remember that? You got some McDonald's and a coffee, and I'm like, I don't know how this dude's getting coffee at 1 in the morning.
I don't know how he does it either, dude.
So anyway, I mean, we look like a boss. We just rolled up there, got gas, got all that. Looked like we knew what we were doing. Some, we got our cowboy hats on with athletic shorts on and stuff.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
Missing a couple things. Everyone's looking at us like we're weird, but it is what it is. So I drove from 10 to I think it was 7 or 8 in the morning, and I got you to somewhere in Tennessee. I do remember.
We pulled in that gas station like right at 7, I think.
Yep. And then I was like, all right, Chris, your turn to take over. You just got to stay on this road. This road, no problem. You'll be fine. I'll go to sleep. Well, you can't really sleep when it's 100 degrees in the toterhome. You maybe can get like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. You can't sleep much. Well, best bet is we actually were making way good time, super good time, till we get a phone call. Hey, well, I have to be present to, make all this stuff happen for this toterhome. So you guys got to pick me up at the airport. I'm like, okay. What time does your plane get there? Granted, we're already basically at the airport 3.5 hours in advance. He's like, oh, it lands there at 1. Well, we're there at like 10. So
I didn't know there was a time zone change.
And so neither did I. And it kind of hurt me because I was like, oh, he's only 2 hours away. Chris is like, buddy, he's 3 hours. So guess what we got to do? Sit at a rest stop with no AC for 3.5 hours. And guess what Kentucky was? The hottest it's ever been there.
Record heat.
In like 40 years. It was the hottest day.
It was like
110
degrees outside, which obviously means it was like 200 degrees inside the toterhome.
Oh.
We had every window open, the door open. We had everything open, and we were still dying. Well, I was like, at that point, I was sick and tired of it. I said, the minute we pick him up, he's driving the rest of the way. I'm pissed.
I was committed. I was going to keep driving. He said, no, you make him drive.
Yeah, I was like, you make him drive, and then once we get the new toterhome, you make him drive as far as he possibly can. So we pick him up. We drive to the place, Well, first we actually stop at a Walmart to freshen up because we all smelled pretty bad. we're sitting in a toterhome with nothing.
You two smelled bad. That was great. And
I bet you were.
You all picked me up in Nashville, and I had my cowboy boots on,
it's
my blue jeans.
Yeah, it's 110 degrees. He comes out in cowboy boots and blue jeans, thinking he's getting ready to impress some cowgirl out there. Let alone never even looked at the temperature.
We walk into Walmart for less than 2 minutes, and a girl walks up behind him and is like, CJ, oh my God, is that you? And then Chase looks at her and goes, Jesus, here we go.
Yeah, so I mean, we're in Paducah, Kentucky. Truthfully, never even heard of this place. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be some like small town. No one's going to know who we are. We're obviously going to stick out like sore thumb because we got a toterhome, which is just driving around for some reason. Yeah, walk in that Walmart. And she like screamed his name. And I'm like, I know I didn't hear that. I know for sure I didn't hear that. And then just getting closer and it's getting louder. And then finally he turns around and he's like, she's like, oh my God, it actually is you. Yeah, and I looked right at her. I'm like, oh God, like someone has literally found us. Like they knew we were coming
and
here.
And nobody posted it. We never posted nothing on social media about where we were or nothing.
No, all we posted was our like little squad pic.
Secret mission.
Our little squad pic of us leaving. But that was
an adventure.
That was
she was a cool fan though. Like,
she
was really
super
cool
nice
it,
lady.
Yeah.
But in that time frame, basically, I was up for like 13 hours with no sleep.
Yeah, Chase wasn't having it.
I wasn't really a social person at that time.
She's like, well, I'm not crazy. Yeah, so he's like, no, I've just been on a long trip.
Yeah, so I was just hoping to get in and get out. Not being like under the radar, not being seen.
No, not with me anymore.
Yeah. So then picked up the new toterhome and trucked back. And obviously it took us a lot longer to come back because of the storm.
Well, yeah, the storm. And then you two were asleep. I stopped at 3 truck stops within like 20 miles of each other to see if they had them little taquito things. The first 2...
I know you remember talking about this.
The first time I stopped, he's like, what? He's like, you getting fuel? I'm like, yeah, I'm getting fuel. Well, them two, they were asleep, right? So I stop in this first truck stop, and they got them little taquitos, and I was pissed. I was like, damn it. One of them chicken taquitos would be so good. I get like 2 or 3 of them. I'll be able to drive for like hours after this. At this time, it's like 3:30 in the morning. So I get to the next truck stop a couple miles down the road, pull into the Loves, and didn't have them. I was like, damn, I'm strikeout 2 for 2. This is not this third one. It's got to be a charm.
That's what you get. You deserved it.
Yeah, I like delayed our trip like 30 minutes, like pulling in and all this kind of stuff. So I pulled into the third truck stop. I got fuel, by the way. They had taquitos. I had like 6 of them put in that little bag. But I was like drooling driving. I'm like, man, a taquito would be so good right now. So anyway, I drove till what, 6? Just before 6 a.m.
It was like 5 or 6, yeah. And then the best part was what'd you buy at that truck stop?
I needed a blanket because it's like freezing cold in the toterhome because I had this damn air conditioner set like 62.
I had it as low as it possibly could go.
Yeah, and then you lowered it to 50. So I put it at 62.
Like icicles.
I put it at 62, and then he turns it down to where it just says low, which is 56. And then it's like we could have hung meat in that damn thing. So I'm freezing in the back. Now it's raining. The ambient temperature outside is not as hot now. So now I'm like, all right, this is miserable as shit. So the last truck stop I stopped in, I went in there to get a blanket, and they only had 2 blankets. The most hideous camo blanket I've ever seen in my life that like screamed like I hunt deer with a broken rifle.
I still think you should have got that one.
No, ain't no way in hell. I mean, I like camo, but like not that camo. That's a classified camo. And then there was this blanket with a mountain and the wolf and the moon behind it.
The moon.
And I said, I've never been a truck driver, but I'm about to feel like one now. Yeah. I officially own one of them wolf moon mountain blankets.
Yeah, all we need is just the vest to go on the passenger seat.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
Then we're full bore.
Oh, we're full committed, man.
Yeah,
but that's how shit goes. Like whenever we purchase something, it's like super. It's got to be like on the fly. Like that. Honestly, that's why that motorcycle was like just meant for me. Like truly, because like it was coming out of paint. They sent me a picture of it, and they're like, "Do you like this? If so, we'll continue." And I'm like, "I love it."
It didn't matter. It could have been any color, and he'd have been like, "That's so hot.
I think
that's so hot." You know,
I can one in my garage.
He's like,
that's hot.
Because literally, the guy just said you can pick it up at any stage you want. You literally just show up, and wherever it's at, you can come pick it up. And everything they keep sending them, that's hot. Oh, I love that.
Damn.
Oh, that's so nice.
They put a big cam in there. She can go. Ka-pong, ka-pong, ka-pong. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to tech.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to tech with that bike.
Yeah.
But let's get back to what we were talking about. How about that?
So okay.
See how far we drift off here. We're getting back to Saturday night. We didn't even get to the feature yet.
Well, so in the heat race, you know, you started what, 8th?
8th in the heat race. Yep, dead last.
Started 8th. So the track was actually the best it's been all year. Yeah, I in my opinion.
Modified guys say otherwise.
The modified guys need to just shut the fuck up.
Look, I'm just saying the modified guys need to step it up because Ryan Godown is putting it on them. Ain't nobody got a shot for him.
Waxing their ass.
Ain't nobody got nothing for him. I mean, but it's like that in a sense. I guarantee no one there is working as hard as he is.
No, they're putting in the work,
they're putting in the effort for it. They deserve it 100%. I thoroughly enjoy that.
It's like one of those things. Like Go Down right now is kicking ass. It happens at every track. Like Nagy last year won 8 races at Bridgeport. Like, I mean, when you're on, you're on. Everybody has a heyday. Eventually, it'll end for him, and just like it does for everybody. Billy Pouch Sr. back in the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Kicking ass, taking names, would win at anywhere he went, basically. And the same thing with Go Down. Go Down goes south, goes north, wherever. I mean, he's winning races. I mean, the guy's doing his homework. He had a great crew behind him, and you can't fault that when the chemistry is there and everything is clicking and everybody knows what they're doing. And it just, the guy knows how to drive the track better than most people with the setup that he has under the car, and that's why you're getting results. I mean, you look at us when we started 15th and I won Dad's race. We started 18th 2 weeks before then and finished second. And then the other race, we started 4th and finished second. And then for Dad's race, we started 15th and won. So
we kind of had to. There was no excuses to not win that race.
Yeah, I know. I had so much pressure on me that race. It wasn't even funny, man. Like that was intense.
So it's like, I guess to get off topic again, I've always wanted to like say this to you. Your biggest competitor is yourself.
Yeah, it is. You're 100% right.
There's not anybody else on the track that he like truly fears about. That he's like, no, man, like this guy, is really good. The problem is you're always thinking. Yep. And when you're thinking is when you're at your worst. And what's weird is I guess from me being around racing since I was a little kid, I can see when you're thinking and when you're just riding. Basically, like when you're not thinking. And it's so funny to like me see it because I can tell right off the bat. But everyone else, they're like, oh, he f***ed up in that corner. Well, he f***ed up because that straightaway he was thinking about about going into that corner, so it screwed him up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's kind of funny to think about that, but 100% in that deal. I mean, it was just like, in your dad's race when they're like, oh, we want you to go lead the 4Y salute. I'm like, that's gonna fuck him up.
Oh, it did.
I'm like, look, in that time, I'm like, look, I hope, like, I'm not trying to mean this in like the right way, but I was like, I hope someone flips lap 1. I said that way I can go out there and talk to him. Like I hope we have a red flag for something on lap 1. That way I can go out there and put his mindset back where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that was that
4 car.
Was it the 15th to second or the 18th to second?
When I went from 18th to second,
we had that red flag and I came out there, and that's when I told you. I said, I know what you want to do. but it is not worth it. I said, just go clean on by him. You got the car. You know, you're doing this. He's like, oh, how's my tire look? They never even looked at it. Looks great. Keep going. Yeah, I don't care, because if I put anything other than, you know, that tire is like, if I said, oh, the tire's okay, well, then it's automatically in his mind. Yep, I know his mind is controlling how he's going to race. So all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
All the time. It's like I tell him before he goes out there, this car is on kill. It's 100% there. It's 100%
and ever
ready.
Since you started doing that, like, I've been on kill.
Yeah.
I'm like, heat races, we used to suck. And it was just like, where we finish, we're finished.
And I mean, I know people have caught on to it now because they see it. And I mean, like, a lot of people aren't very happy with me. But I'll say it again. Come from a late model background. I don't know why y'all don't do this. I give them hand signals. I'll straight up say it. I do all the time. I give them hand signals.
Yep.
It's free. It's not a rule. It's not against it. I don't know why y'all don't do it. It's literally the easiest thing in the world. Now, granted, half the time I don't think he's actually looking at me, where most drivers aren't.
He does. I see him. I film.
Well, there are sometimes I can see he looks because he gives me a signal back that he saw it. But it's like with that, in that time frame there too, is I'm putting him in the right mindset, where he needs to be, what he needs to do. You know, how far was he pulling the guy like behind him? Was they close? Were they gaining on him? Where they were running? Blah 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 blah. But I'm putting him in that mindset to where all he needs to focus on is driving, nothing else. And when you do that for any driver, I'll say for anybody out there that's like, listen to this, that works on a team or what that, if you make the driver only focus on driving, it'll 10 times be better. Why do you think all the kids that drive for Keith Coons are amazing? There's nothing they have to worry about other than driving.
Yeah. It's the older generation that's like, they need to work on the car, know how to, fix the fucking tire. I know how to fix anything on that car. I can fabricate any piece of sheet metal. I can fabricate anything in the world. I can do anything with that car. But if I can just focus on driving like I do now, I'm 20 times better because I'm not second guessing the fucking round I punted in the right front. Like,
absolutely. It's like half the time now. He's like, oh, what'd you put in the car? Well, I like half-assed him what I put in the car. It's not even close to what I actually did because I don't need him worried about that. Basically, I'm putting the right thing that I think is right into the car based on what I saw, what I think, everything I need to do, all the information I'm given. I don't need him worried about that, because then he's going to come in. He's like, oh, well, that was terrible. Well, in the first 5 laps, I can tell if it's going to work or it's not.
That's the truth.
Actually. I mean, it was literally, and like even Chris can say, the first 5 laps in the last feature that we just ran, I was like, we're terrible. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'm like, yeah, well, I'll be thrilled with a top 10. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, we got some gifts from God. One guy tried to kill another dude. A couple people, tried to test the wall.
Shout out to appreciate it, buddy.
But gosh, I always get nervous racing around that guy. He's the one guy I know I can't race. How do I put that? I know I cannot race him the way I could race like Eddie Wagner, or I could race Kevin Nagy or Dave Brown, things like that. Now Dave Brown did try to take the front wing off the damn car this week, but like I like the guy. I have nothing wrong with him. And, that first race or whatever that we had that little tango with or whatever, but just don't beat my back bumper off on the start of a heat race, bro. Come on, like that's what ticked me off about the whole situation. Like I knew it was him. Like it just, but like moving forward again, I'm not talking shit on anybody, but you know who you can race against and who you can't. Like I can't race around the 83 the way that I can race around like the, Well,
it's like most. I'm not trying to say he's like bad, but he's like he's good. Everyone's good, but I mean, there's some people that you race against that basically everything that they're gonna do. Okay, he knows the fast line around here, so he's obviously gonna take the fast line. So you got to be somewhere different than that person, than him. Well, you have some people out there, you have no honest opinion or clue where they're going to go. And I guess probably in their head, they have no idea where they're going to go.
True.
So those are the people that, it's scary. It's like you fear.
It's I was behind the 83 3 times now, where twice out of those 3 times, he barrels into the corner and does not turn, just hits the person. Remember when I was racing Reed's car?
I thought he totaled that car.
I thought. I mean,
I was like, that car's done.
Honestly, I was like, I'm dying right here because he hit this car going into the corner so fast that his car spun around and backs up the racetrack, and I'm already committed to the top, but going in behind him, and literally, everybody was like, "Oh, it was inches." It was an inch.
So the
from
best part
disaster.
was 1 inch.
So, where like the pit road like starts, where like the first people park. That race is where we actually parked. So I was like, oh, for some reason I'll just stand on top of the trailer. I was like cleaning up everything. I'll just stand on top of the trailer and watch. Well, all I see is this wing backing up. Like I can see the back part of the wing backing up, and then I just see this white and blue 15 coming hugging the fence. And I'm like, I'm just gonna get off the trailer now. I'm like, this thing's getting ready to go. I'm like, it's gonna end up somewhere over here. So I'll just be able to pick it up and just drag it over to the trailer at this point. So I come down, and then I'm like, I remember the caution. So I start cleaning up everything to, get prepared that this not a sprint car now is going to show up.
It was a yard sale about to happen.
So, wait there a couple of minutes, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, oh my God. At first, like, my main thing is I'm like, oh my God. It's the other time I went racing with the first time at Linda's. It's one of these ordeals again.
Jeez.
I'm like, oh, here we go. Yeah. So I'm like, but then I'm like, they're still under caution. Like, there's not a red flag, so maybe it's not that bad. So I'm like, oh, let me walk up to the grandstands. Walk up to the grandstands. I'm not even looking left. I'm looking right at the crash. And it's that car. And I'm like, where the hell's my car? Where is it? I'm like, that thing is long gone. It's probably getting towed around back there somewhere. I missed it, whatever. And then I look left, and there it is. And it ain't got a scratch on it. And I'm like, oh, God, thank the Lord.
It was, and then the same thing just happened this past race, except instead of going into one, it was coming out of two.
Yeah.
He threw a massive slider. I mean, the guy's fast. You can't take that away from him. I just think he expects the car in front of him to move out of the way for whatever reason. And I actually like the guy. I've never had a problem with him. I just don't want to race around him because it's expect the unexpected to happen because it's going to happen. He goes in there and just drives straight into the 32. I watched it from our footage. I watched it from Flo's footage, and then I watched Dylan's infield cam footage from a different angle. The 32 kept his line, and the 83 just goes up and just nails his left rear, spins around, and when he did, the 32 is spinning around. So now there's two cars. I'm up here trying to, when I saw him hit, I thought they were going to go to the bottom, so I went high. The problem is when I went high, the 83 backs up into the wall. The 32 is now spinning down where I'm turning to. And what I have to pay attention to, too, I got two cars I got to avoid. Is there somebody barreling in to the left of me that I'm going to clip, and now I'm going for a ride? So it's just, when I say this, I'm not an expert on sprint cars. I'm never going to claim to be. I don't even want to be. I just want to go out there and race them and have my fun and go home. And you got to race these cars with respect. That right there, that incident could have been very, very bad, tremendously bad, because you could not have picked the worst place on the track for that to happen. I mean, truthfully, same thing. A couple previous years when he went in the corner. I mean, I don't know how no one's gotten hurt with just this going on. And I joked around about it on that live that I did. I was like, man, it was like, everybody, closed their visors and cut off the oxygen to our brains, and we were just going crazy because, like, everybody was hitting the walls, and I'm just like, what the hell is happening? And I just felt off the whole race, and I just raced a smart race. I tried to stay out of trouble and, just take the car back in one piece. Like, we're not racing for points. We're not doing anything. If we got a car capable of win, we'll go after it.
Except my nose wing. That thing is destroyed.
Dude, I don't know what happened. I swear to you.
That thing is destroyed.
We got to watch some footage back. I'm pretty sure I captured it.
Yeah.
You bumped
somebody.
Who
got hit?
I don't remember. It was in the back stretch, I believe. You bumped right in the back of somebody.
Was it under green flag?
I don't think. Yeah, under green flag, yeah. You were just racing. I think you guys just came into each other.
For all the people that are watching, if you're into racing, if CJ doesn't like his car, he'll make sure to damage something that, like, shows displeasure. Your car's terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't do a good job giving him a good car, so what'd he do? Damage his nose wing.
Crushed it right in.
It's not hateful.
I mean, it's bad.
For new nose wing coming
It's
soon.
bad. It's not good.
Call Ponchos. We need new nose wing.
It's not good.
Poncho.
But, and I mean, and truthfully, if you think about it, though, like, that whole entire race, like, there's just the weirdest stuff that like ever happened. Schweibens goes in to turn 1. He had no air on his wing. If you watch that replay, like, he went in behind somebody and drifted up like I did a couple times. Like, air is so important to our cars.
Absolutely.
And then he hits the wall. The kid did a really nice job keeping that thing on all fours, though. Like, that car should have gone for a tumble, and he somehow he kept it driving to turn 2 to make sure he wasn't going upside down. It was impressive. The way he hit, the car came off the ground, and then like
it's like, I guess the way that Saturday was run, because there was a lot of like carnage basically Saturday in all the classes. I mean, the crate modifieds, they had one flip. I didn't even know those things could flip. I didn't know they go fast enough to flip.
I didn't either. You came to me. He's like, "Oh, crate modified just flip." I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, I heard it over the intercom, and I'm like, "They're lying.
Like
there ain't no way that thing
flipped.
flipped." Yeah, but I didn't even know they go fast enough to flip. So that kind of threw me off guard. But that like puts me into this topic, and I mean, even you as a motocross person could do this. What is like your biggest gripe about racing? Like, and I'll start it. Mine is the driver will never say it was his fault,
except
ever.
For who?
Well, there's a couple people.
I come in and I tell you every time, I'm like, "Yo, I fucked up. It's not your car."
There are a couple people that will be like, man, this was the problem, stuff like that. But then like you get to like listen to some people's interviews.
Track sucks.
Yeah, the track's terrible. My car just wouldn't do this. It was just okay. Well, let's just rewind 5 laps. Why the hell did you plow your brains out going into 3 when you're supposed to run the top? Like, common sense.
Bingo.
Where you get some of like the good people, they'll be like, I just didn't run the race I needed to. I screwed up here. I did this there, and then it was just a problem. I let my crew down. Well, you get some people that in the interviews on the Facebook posts, oh, well, the car was just junk. I was terrible. The minute that the car isn't what it needs to be, they just give up. And then they instantly go, it's the car's problem. And I hate that. I 100% will say, it was my fault I didn't give you a good car. But if I didn't give him a good car, I'm expecting him to somewhat make up for that.
Bingo.
Because
just like we did Saturday night.
And I mean, in racing, you're never going to get a 100% car. Ever. That's never going to happen ever in life. Maybe with motocross, because I don't really see you guys work on anything.
It's just like you guys. It's probably worse, honestly.
Yeah, I could see that.
Cases.
So, since we're on the topic of you kind of touching on this, like the keyboard warriors out there, it's no secret that obviously my brother-in-law is Doug Rose and my sister Brittany. Yeah, man, you didn't know that, did you?
No. What?
You don't see his rig pulling in behind the grandstands every week?
No, I just thought we paid for that spot.
No, Velveeta pays for that spot.
We know it wasn't in the gravel back there. But I mean, the worst part is we've missed so many fights by not being back there.
I know, it's bullshit. I don't like it.
Pits, I think.
Gosh damn it. Well, see those logos on the car? The yellow one, and then the red ones, and the white and black one, and all that? Yeah. And Be Electric, they all pay for that spot. So
huge shout out to Be Electric. Yeah, huge shout out.
Yeah, huge shout out to Be Electric.
Financially, very supportive this year. Elite Lubricants, Scott Baylor, been great.
Got some good partners on there.
Where's our motors at?
Keep going. Keep going. You're doing a great job.
The worst thing, there's 4 logos on that car that are not my companies. Think about that.
Yeah.
Be Electric, Easy Finance, Velveeta,
Valco.
Oh yeah, Valco.
Elite Lubricants. Yep.
Elite Lubricants. Everything else is me.
I mean, technically, Baldy's Barbecue was not you.
No, I just put that on there for my dad.
Yeah, but I'm just saying technically that wasn't you.
In memory of him.
It kind of got handed to you, but
do we need to call Valco?
Handed to me. I don't even have. It wasn't even a real thing.
You cooked once after that.
I did
whole
cook one time, but that was it. I was like, fuck cooking, man. I hate that shit. Nothing better than a hot pocket in the microwave, bud. Guess what? By the time you get done cooking and cleaning up all your bullshit dishes, I'm already on to the next project.
So, like, we're not grilling out anymore at the races.
I mean, we're gonna grill
like the one rain out at Bridgeport.
Damn, you remember that shit when we were grilling out in the rain?
Yeah.
We don't get no food. We don't get munchkins. We don't get anything anymore.
Oh, God.
We get no food at the races.
Oh, here he goes.
That's not through him. That's a different person.
I'm just saying we get no food.
Hold on. The one time, last race, we actually did get a gift.
Oh, shout out to Christy.
We did get cupcakes.
Amazing.
Yeah, Chris ate them.
So hold on. For all you people to know, she brought a cupcake, one for each crew member, let alone there's only one technical crew member on the team, and it's this guy right here.
6 cupcakes.
Well, so there's one per crew member. Well, she comes up to me and she's like, "Did you have a cupcake?" And I'm like, "What cupcakes? What? Excuse me?"
Yeah, because whenever you talk to Chase on a race day, he's like, "Chase, you thirsty? Chase, you hungry?"
It's actually true.
Yeah, but I mean, I get paid to get this car to go fast. I can't worry about the other things. That's just not part of it.
They're just cool guys. That's all day.
Like I'll tell anybody this, like clear as day. You want to talk to me? Don't talk to me during the race. Either talk to me before the car actually leaves to get engine heat, or when we're going to load the car up. Don't talk to me anytime before, like during that. If I do see you and you do ask something, and I'm not in the constant mind of thinking, which I'm doing the whole time, I will talk to you. But in that whole time, I say it like I'll say of anything. Let me come to your job at like 10 o'clock in the afternoon, like right in the morning, where you're hard at work or something like that, and me try to have a conversation with you.
Or
it's
someone brings you cupcakes and you stop and you eat them because.
Well, hold on. Did she bring them to me? That's a false statement. That's
I retrieved them for you.
That's a false statement. That person did not walk up to me and say, "Here's some cupcakes." I didn't know anything about them until she's like, "Hey, I brought cupcakes, one for each crew member." Well, then I'm looking around.
3 crew members,
well, then I'm looking
so 2
around.
for each of us.
And then I'm looking around. I'm like, so she only brought one cupcake? I'm like, I'm kind of, I'm kind of confused here. So she's like, yeah, I brought one for each, and I'm like, oh, well, they're probably all eight, they're probably gone by now. Like people just come and eat them, whatever, no problem. Well, she's like, she's mad that I didn't know that there were cupcakes. Well, then here comes Chris walking by, and he has no idea that the wrath is just getting ready to be unleashed. And she goes, Chris, you didn't tell him about the cupcakes? And he's like, I thought I did. He probably did, but
like I said,
one in here and now the other.
I was so far zoned in, I didn't know nothing about it. Well, then she's like, well, how many did you eat? And he's like, oh, I had 2. I said, well, there's mine.
Yep, exactly.
I said, there's mine, and I left.
Can we do the math really quick one more time? 3 crew members, 6 cupcakes. If we divide that, that's 2 per person.
So he had all 6.
I had 2.
I didn't see a single one. Even I went to go look afterwards.
Because you didn't look in the refrigerator, like I told you.
Yeah, if you went in the fridge in the toter, actually, there was a couple.
Pineapple frosting. You had to refrigerate
Did you take your shoes off when you went in the toter?
Of course I did.
Okay.
I cleaned that toter home. I'm one of the 2 people who cleans that thing.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank goodness, man.
Why are you asking me?
Yeah, we're like really weird and particular about the toter home. Like, if you don't take your shoes off at the door, you're getting your ass chewed.
Absolutely.
You'll throw your ass out the door.
It's just like a house. It's basically a house on wheels. Do you want to walk with your
those.
dirty shoes in the house? Let's just say, hey, there's a mud puddle outside. We'll go jump in it and then just walk through your house. Like it's no problem.
Yeah. Well, there's some people out there that probably are okay with that. But
Well,
not us.
Different side of things.
I don't usually like pineapple, but those are really good cupcakes. So thanks, Christy. Just want to thank you again for that. That's really good.
I want to ask you something, actually.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So it's like the people of the interwebs, the trolls, the keyboard warriors, whatever you want to classify them as, right? The people who have the opinions. And they could say the same thing about us. They could call us microphone warriors because we have a microphone, we have a platform, we have people who listen to it. And, therefore, technically it's, our opinion, right? And we're all entitled to an opinion.
Oh, 100%, except a couple things. There are a couple things I have that I 100% argue with you any day of the week with. In person, on a microphone, on the phone. I'm 100% set on my thing. I'm good to go. But the rest of it, I don't care what you say.
So let me ask you this. Let's talk about a touchy subject for all racetrack owners and promoters.
Okay.
Track bashing.
Okay.
Are you for it or are you against it?
I'm for it on certain people saying it. The people there, and I'm going to say like the people that are higher up in the racing world, the people that have been racing for a long time, if you're a rookie and you're bashing the track, the hell do you even know about the track? You probably don't even know how to keep your car going straight. So I don't think the track's going to change anything about how you're going about it. Where, for instance, the guys that have been there 10, 15, 20 years plus on it, I do think a little bit will help because, I truly hate the guys that the track's rubbered up and they win. Oh, the track was amazing. Best track I ever raced on. Well, everyone and their mother knows you won in the rubber. You know you won in the rubber. That's why you're going to say it's the best track. Yeah. I'm okay with it to a certain extent because, obviously, if you say certain things, obviously it depends on how you're saying it. If you're like throwing F-bombs, like completely just bashing it.
I think it's the approach.
If you're giving constructive criticism to it, like, hey, maybe try this. Like the track did this, maybe try this to do it. You're giving them feedback, so it only can help them.
Yeah, I agree.
I think,
and then I almost disagree that a person like myself does not need to go on the internet and bash the track. I don't.
That's where I think
that's why I keep my opinion to myself.
That's where I think it is those people that have done it like the 10, 15 year plus into racing, they don't bash it on the internet. They actually like go to the guy. And they don't really bash it. They just kind of say something. If you're professional. I see every single week. It's like it's always something like, here's the problem is, we're giving out 7th place trophies. We're softer than ever, but we're also more harsh than ever, where if I don't agree with your opinion, I'm an idiot. Now, in some cases, I probably am. Yeah.
But think about this, though.
Absolutely agree
so
with that.
I see this on the internet all the time, especially after I'll pay attention to some of the comments that tracks get that we go to. So remember when we went to Dixieland last year?
I do.
And it was literally
Chupacabra. It's a Chupacabra.
It was a Chupacabra.
E and A in there. No, it's you said Chupa.
My bad.
It's cheapo. Like some cheap ass soup or something.
Yeah.
So we went there, and this was like a one groove racetrack. I mean, it was literally terrible. It was a terrible racetrack that night. We're all racing on the same surface. Mm-hmm. Quit your bitching.
Absolutely.
What the hell does it matter? Listen, here's my big to do with people. If you actually have an opinion about the racetrack enough, go in your little checkbook, write a check, and you do it better than that person. Or go to the person and say, hey, listen, I'm not an expert at track prep. Maybe try this. Or something along those lines. But me, I came in after a heat race a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, yo, we got a river behind the track. Let's throw some water on this bitch. You know what I mean? But did I put that out there publicly? No, I did now. But I'm not bashing the track. I'm just saying, hey, we need to put some water on this, and it takes a little bit to fine tune what you're doing. And most of all, I mean, you and I agree, and we disagree on very little. But I think we can both agree on the stuff that, like, it's always that one guy who just wants to bitch and complain about everything. And that's the guy there that does damage without him knowing damage, because that group of people, if you're bashing someone or, you're basically trying to dim their light, you're already on a lower totem pole and standard than what they are. I'm not ever going to try to, me talking about, some of the situations that we ran into. I'm not downing these people at all. I'm just talking what actually happened. Hey, does the track need more water? Yep, it sure does. Instead of bitching about it, maybe do something about it. I don't know.
It's just those people, like any person that like bashes on the internet. It's how I say in anything. It's like the 95-5 rule. There's 5% of like those people in that series or that race that's all they do, and they bitch, moan, and complain. What makes the other 95% of the people who are actually good look like them? Because most people that do watch, I'm going to say most people that, and I mean, this is a whole nother topic that we could probably go on for hours with. Most of the people I'd say that probably watch Bridgeport aren't even on the East Coast. They're probably like in the Midwest or something watching. Well, they're obviously going to check Twitter and Facebook and stuff to like see their favorite driver and how he's doing there at the place. Well, if that guy's bitch moaning and complaining about the track, well, then they're instantly going to hate the track. Where that's 5% of the people that are bitching, where 95% of the people are actually like super in love with it. So it just makes everyone as a whole look bad. I mean, yeah, you're going to have some people, and I mean, I'm pretty bad at it. If I'm mad, it's just whatever I thought, there's no filter, it's just coming out. Doesn't really matter what it is, how bad it's going to be, it's just going to come out. It's just part of it.
Yeah, but you're not on Facebook, like,
no,
blasting the track or blasting a promoter or something.
These two like say to follow me on social media. You're just wasting your time because I don't post anything.
He reads the DMs.
He don't do anything.
He reads them.
I do check it every once in a while.
Yeah, but you're not like stuff on there.
Yeah, no, it's not my cup of tea.
Those people are just. It's just like going on Amazon and looking at a new ring light. Like, their only reviews on there are the people who love the ring light and absolutely hated the ring light.
And then you got a guy like me that if it breaks or it works great, I'm not writing a fucking review.
You're going to buy a new one or you're going to throw it out.
That's just the thing, too. Even if I bought it and I love it, there's not one product I've ever loved so much that I've had time to like, oh my God, I need to go put a review about it.
That's how the track people are. Like, when they're writing this stuff on Facebook, like, you're going to see the people that have really hated it or the people that really loved it. You never see the mediocre, like the middle of the road, like, hey, like,
Well, it's like the modified guys. They're the ones that are, complaining the most about the track prep and stuff like that. And it's...
I come from that world. When you weigh 2,300 pounds with that rigid suspension that you have, with them 1x2 like bars on the bottom, what does a modified do? Digs into the track. When you have banking in the track, what is the car going to do? Dig into the track.
What do you expect, right?
It's common sense. I guarantee...
They don't want to look at it that way, though.
I guarantee if we just ran sprint cars all one night, the track would not be rough at all.
Yep.
Are there any... Because we tried doing this, not we, but like the Sport of Supercross tried getting like the riders to have like a little committee for like a track safety thing. Is there anything like that in sprint car racing or anything, like where the drivers would come together like before practice or before the hot laps and be like, hey, this doesn't look right. Can we fix this? The track's too dry. Is that a thing that could fix what you guys are talking about?
Not really, because
no?
it's usually pretty smooth.
It's not in the fact of like it's not in the fact of the drivers. So like, for instance, like the World of Outlaws or like Lucas or like USAC or something like that. The head guy running like the series that's there, like that's making sure everything's right. He would be the one to be like, hey man, can we put some more water down? But
who is he though? Like why is he making this decision where the drivers are the ones who drive it and they know what the track should be?
Most of the time the drivers know that he's the guy that's going to do it, so they just go to him.
Yeah,
gotcha.
They just go to him.
He's the driver's voice at that point.
But when people are still complaining over and over, like why doesn't... I'm not saying Bridgeport has these problems, but you see these certain tracks that, hey, this sucks, that sucks.
And I mean sometimes too, if I do notice at Bridgeport they do it, and I'm super like happy they do it. Since they water in between hot laps and the heat races, kind of feel bad for the sportsman people because they're like the track running people for the first heat, which is kind of bad. Someone's got to do it. So I'm glad you guys are doing it. When I go to the backstretch to like watch the first heat to see what adjustments and stuff I need to do, as they're running the track in, you'll see the flag guy on the back. He's asking the drivers, "Is it ready?" And you'll see them go by, though they do thumbs up, like, yeah, it's ready to go, or thumbs down.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of pinpoint who they want to, like, listen to. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, like I'm saying, some rookie's going to be like, it's great. He's probably spinning the whole time wide open, barely didn't even know he's, like, supposed to be pace laps. Really they ain't going to care about him. But, like, a couple of people that are good, they'll look for them. If it's thumbs down, they'll just keep them going until those people finally give a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, okay, now we can cut them loose.
Well, it's like before our race, I don't know if they pay attention to our car or not, but when we just buzz the track before the race, trying to just run on that water and whatnot, I really pin it just because I want to know, because I'm going to be the one that's going to barrel in that corner, and I know I'm going to hit that 2 foot by 6 foot fucking wet spot.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure it's running good, and whenever Doug goes in there and talks about, hey, let's pack the top, I'm the first one up to the top to help pack it in, because number one,
that's another thing that gripes me. When the guy on the intercom, hey, let's run the bottom or let's run the top to pack it in. What does that mean? You have to go where he's saying for you to go. That doesn't mean you go do what you want by just riding in the middle.
Bingo.
You go where the guy's telling you to go, and you do it. What's it going to do? It's going to help you, because I guarantee some point of that race, you're going to be in that line.
Yep.
Well, if you didn't go and pack it in, you ain't going to be in that line, because it ain't going to be there.
Man. Yeah. I never really thought about this until now. Whenever we're at the racetrack, we're in race mode, and I've watched Doug a couple of times from just spectator mode. Mm-hmm. We did that one night when we were up there in that one booth, like beside them, and like you could kind of hear like race control like beside us or whatever.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Owning a racetrack is probably one of the toughest things to do.
Oh yeah, he cussed at me the weekend we won.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Because my 4-wheeler wouldn't start, and everyone's going out there to talk to their driver. So I'm like, I'm obviously going to go out there.
Yeah,
the minute the pit bike went out there, he's cussing at who's going out there to go to that person.
That's all right. He's cussed me before. It's all right. Everybody's like, always very critical about track owners or promoters or whatever, track prep crew, but there's so many variables that go into it. You know what I think we need to do? I just think we need to all appreciate that we have a racetrack to go race at. And at the end of the day, guess what? That machine right there doesn't run on, gravel. It doesn't run on like sand very well. It runs we need a racetrack to go race and do what we love.
The only thing I will argue
I don't know.
I didn't know a pit bike's supposed to run on concrete.
Well, you do now.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you just got to make more effort to maybe call out these keyboard warriors when they're saying this shit, like say, Did you ever think about this? Did you ever think that maybe you just are not a good driver, or maybe you had a bad car tonight? You have to be intense, but I mean,
yeah. I mean, the problem is you have those people that are just self-centered. You know, no matter what you say to them, it's not going to make a difference. And with that, so I mean, it's just kind of like, you know, give and take. Because I mean, I'll be straight up honest. There's a track. What's it? 45 minutes from here, of the 2 tracks. I don't think it's going to be open much longer.
Right.
I mean, the way it's going right now, it's going to close up. So, but the way it's going now is you're going to close up tracks. Well, then where are you going to go?
And it sucks because, you know, the track situation across nationwide is dwindling down. There's a couple of tracks that I saw that were for sale over the all season, like Path Valley. Is that the one that sold to?
Yeah, that's sold to the farmer. They tore it down, and it's going to be all farmland.
Yeah, so I mean, it's better than housing development, but then again, it's still not. It's not a racetrack anymore. So that to me, that sucks. We have to preserve the sport, and we have to be good stewards of the sport to promote it. Right now, dirt racing is at the highest level it has ever been, and it's going to continue to grow. Nobody gives a shit about NASCAR. Well, I mean, some people give a shit about NASCAR. I don't want to like hate on that, but like, just the NASCAR races, they're okay at best. They are not like watching a dirt race. You go to your local Saturday night dirt track, there is 10 times more action in 1 hour than there is at 4 hours of watching NASCAR racing. And guess what? I always just say this. There was never a time where I've ever thought that NASCAR was better than dirt racing. Even when I was growing up, I always loved dirt racing. And that's why I came back to it, because it's truly fun and it's exciting. Every lap is something different.
Well, I mean, and the way I look at it too is you look at all these people that are professional just across the board, you know, like NHRA, drag racing, or the same thing, circle track, like NASCAR stuff. What are they doing when they can? They're going back to what they used to race.
There's a reason why.
Yeah, it's not money-wise. They're not hired to go do that. Most of them are actually own their own car that's going to race it.
Bingo.
So they're not, you know, in racing in general, you're not making money in racing unless you're at the highest level. But so they're going to do it for one reason. And that one reason is it's addicting. It's fun. It's better than, in their mind, what they're doing. You know, the best part I ever said was the one Larson interview. You know, what's the number one premier race you want to win? And he said the Chili Bowl. And NASCAR got mad at him because he didn't say the Daytona 500.
Right.
Well, they didn't realize basically from, I think you got to be like 16 to race it, from 16 all the way up until he got to that point. That's all he knew was the number one premier race was the Chili Bowl to win.
Well, in your mind, that stands out. So this may sound weird. I talked about this on a podcast or two ago, I think it was, about, you know, me winning the race, dad's race and stuff. I used to have, it was only like, I never really dreamed of like being a Daytona 500 winner or champion, or, you know, a Sprint Cup champion or whatever. I always wanted to just win, like, you know, like title dirt races. There's not like one race I wanted to win, but except for Dover. Dover is one.
Well, it's sentimental value.
Sentimental value.
It's not even so much the race, it's just where it was kind of deal.
Yeah, and I was 13 laps from winning it and blew a right front tire.
Yeah.
Like, the Dover race was mine to be had, and all of my family and friends and the NASCAR officials, everybody, literally people I didn't know, were coming up. Like, that was heartbreaking, right? And if you think about it, in my like racing quote unquote career, I've had more heartbreaks than I had triumphs.
Yeah.
So it's about time where things start to turn around and get better, and they have. But if you think about it too, I've been this close to so many big races and this close to so many great storylines. And then I look back at it now, and I would not go back and change anything, because, I mean, we won the only race that even matters in my life, actually.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I don't give a shit about, if we never win another race, I've won dad's race, and that's cool to me. That trumps everything I ever did. Everything I ever did.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's basically like how, I mean, I guess like the funniest part is we joked about it. It was like, oh, we're just sandbag until we get to his dad's race, and then we're going to go win that
one. We joked, but we were like not serious.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, we haven't let everything out. You know, we still got a couple tenths left. We're good to go. You know, we're just waiting for that race. You know, because why not make that your first win race? I mean, the whole time, obviously, I'm trying to win. You know, why not go into that race winning 4 races, 6 races, going in there just dominant? But I mean, I guess like the best way of saying it is, I guess ever since I started helping you, we're pissed when we run 8th.
Yeah.
We're pissed that we're running 6th. I mean, hell, it was the one night at Susquehanna when I technically first came to help you, and I guess it's because I come from that professional racing aspect of things. We finished 4th, and we were pissed because we had we could have done better.
Right.
And I mean, we were pissed. It was like we finished like 21st.
Yeah, it felt like we finished 21st.
I mean, it's even like last weekend. Yesterday's race technically. We finished 4th. On paper, that's amazing. We went 9th to 4th. You technically improved.
Right.
Well, I'm pissed because the car looked terrible. It drove terrible, and it was terrible.
It almost knocked the wall down a couple times.
Yeah, if we'd have done, if the car would have been better, heck, we could have battled for the win. But I mean, we ran 4th on paper. That's amazing. But you're in the right mindset and right direction when you're pissed at anything but first.
Well, let me ask you this, because we've not really talked about this. Was winning, was us winning Dad's race? Was that, and how was that for you? Was that emotional? Was it still? Has it registered with you yet? Because I'll tell you what, like 3 or 4 days ago, it finally like hit me. I'm like we did it. It took a while, but
I guess the biggest thing that came to me was, so it finally came to the aspect of like I did something. I'm not going to say like how it comes out, and I don't mean it that way, but I did something finally by myself. Like me as my own person finally went out and did something.
Bingo.
Where I come from, like I said, a super like racing background where, we basically won every weekend, twice a weekend, if that was a possible thing. Wherever we went, they knew who we were. We show up, we did our business, we'd win, we'd leave. And that's how I like came a part of it. But, I had a super good driver, super good coach in that aspect of things. So it made me, I guess, get used to the winning ways. But then everyone would be like, oh, well, that's that guy's kid. He's obviously getting the golden spoon. He's getting everything. Oh, no wonder he's so good because of this. Blah, 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 blah. Well, he had nothing to do with this whole sprint car deal. I kind of did all this on my own. And it was honestly super rewarding to me that, okay, I can actually do this on my own kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
So that's how, like,
it probably meant a lot to you.
Oh, it 100% did. And I mean, the way that I looked at it too is I'm a rookie crew chief, and I know it's like hard for people to like understand it because like they don't technically know, and they always look at the things on the paper, but you're technically a rookie too. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
You've been running since what, 2018, 2019?
2018.
2018. Well, it's 2022. That's 4 years. Technically, you've only ran maybe 40 races.
Maybe 30 if you think about it.
I'm saying 30. Well, most people run 60 in a year.
Yeah.
And
just weekend warriors. Just a couple weekend warriors.
Yeah, every other weekend warrior.
Every other weekend warrior.
Because I mean, you ran.
Who are we?
Did you run? You ran every single race the rookie year, didn't you? To win the rookie of the year.
Yeah, that was the only year I ran full time.
That was like what, 20 races?
Yeah,
and then, I mean,
it was
you ran
20 races, and it actually dwindled down to 12 out from all the rain out. So I had 12 races.
And then I mean, you raced like you actually raced like a good amount that year technically because you went to like Dixieland and other places.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you maybe ran 20 times that year. Well, then the other 3 years, because that following year you got hurt.
Well, that's when I was dealing with all the concussion symptoms.
Yeah, so you got hurt, so someone else came in it. So basically, that whole year was a wash in 2019.
Yep.
Then 2020 it was like I think
was a wash.
Yeah, it was a wash. And then 2021, that's when I kind of came into the picture.
Yeah, more like full time. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was 2019 when you had the other drivers. Your dad actually asked me to go to a race with you guys, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just show up. It's Bridgeport,
Yep.
whatever. I'll show up. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm probably not going to do nothing because I don't know anything. So yeah, I'll show up. And that's when I was just walking around, and then I knew a couple people there, and I knew you and all that. And then they were like, oh, we're having brake problems. I'm like, okay, well, this is like probably what your problem is. It's probably right here. No, it's for sure this. I'm like, it's for sure that. No, it's not that. Oh, we've been dealing with that for like 5 weeks. I'm like, absolutely not. Right then, I was like, I'd love to help them, but if it's going to be like this, I can't do it.
Yep.
Because, I mean, instantly we have an issue. This is the first thing I get working on, and I will not stop that day until it's fixed. There's no reason to have lingering problems and all that. And, that's when, we kind of stopped from there because I went helping other people. And then when I came back, actually, your first race was Delmar and Reed's car.
Yeah.
And then that's when the torsion bar flew out.
Oh, my gosh. I remember that. I don't know how I didn't get killed.
Yeah, I show up to the race.
That was scary.
Well, the best part was the whole story, because remember when we drove down there, the dually, and the brakes were smoking?
Jeez, yo! Yeah, that's what prompted me to go buy the first toter, bro.
Yeah, you show up.
Dude, this is no bullshit, dude. So him and I left up here, right? We load Reed's car up. Everybody's going to meet us down there. It's just him and I and the dually. And we're going. We get to, like, I don't know, maybe, like, Greenwood. Remember it was, like, Greenwood?
Well, no, we actually made it there. No problem. But when you pulled in, I'm like, what the hell is smoking?
Well, remember me saying, I was like, man, this thing didn't stop as good this time in Greenwood.
Yeah.
And then we never had another problem. We get to the racetrack. He gets out, and he's like, damn, it smells.
Because we got there. We got there like 45 minutes early. And if you ever know, the one track down there, Delmar, does not open until the gate time says. Like, it doesn't matter if there's cars lined up on the highway. If it's not that time, they ain't opening.
Yeah.
Well, so we got to sit there and wait because we're like 45 minutes early. I'm like, dude, is the goddamn engine like smoking? I'm like, this truck is like dying. So I get out and literally the right front brake.
Oh my god.
The hub and everything is just barreling smoke, and I'm like, that's not good. No. I'm like, well,
yeah.
We'll deal with it afterwards. We just need to get it back to the pit and we'll go race. I wasn't working on the car prior to coming to the track. My first time actually going to work on the car was at the track. Well, and so in this time, like I said, come from a late model background. At this point, too, and I'm from Delaware. Delaware hates sprint cars because they didn't have the right. It wasn't the right ordeal of sprint cars. They didn't have enough push trucks, so it took forever for them to get there. So in my mindset, I'm like, I'm going to hate this stuff. But I'll go help him, you know. I'm curious about him and stuff like that, so I'll go help him. Well, in the heat race, you know, he just all of a sudden just drops to the back and then stops and comes in. And when he comes in, I'm just looking at the car and I'm like, I think that's missing. You know, like, I'm pretty sure that this piece right here was, like, on the car when it left, and it's not there anymore. Why is that? And that's when the guy, Reed at the time, was like, oh, it flew out. And I'm like, all I could think about in my head was there was an accident. It was like 2012 or something like that at Bridgeport.
Yeah, my friend Jason.
When Jason, the same thing happened to him and it killed him. Well, basically, he just got a gift from God that this piece came out and it just flew. And he actually found it on the video. On the video, you could see it flying out. Yeah, you can see it
flying out, yeah.
And right then, I was like, and Chase will be making sure everything's tight from now on. Mm-hmm. So learned that day technically how to put my first torsion bar in and torsion arms and stuff like that. Learned how to do that. And talked me into buying a new toter. Well, that's like later in the that's like later down the road. So we that was run. That night, bitch. Don't even start. Well, we're getting to that point. So we run, and I think we came from like 17th to like 8th or whatnot. You finished 7th that night. Yep. It's, you know, I'm still not really sure what to do on the car, so I'm just guessing. Well, on the ride home, we get to the Laurel Johnny Gymnastics light. He goes, "This thing ain't stopping. It ain't gonna stop at all, bro." There's a red light, and I'm my foot's to the floor, and it's not stopping. It was a new dually too. This was a terrible situation about to happen. He's like, "It's not stopping." I said, "Oh, good luck, but you got to get it back to Felton somehow." Dude, it was so bad. Like we would see, we knew where all the stoplights were, so like we would start slowing down like a mile back. Well, basically, as we'd pass through one stoplight, we're already braking for the next one. Yes. Oh, it was bad. Because we know where it's at. It's not worth it. Well, so what was so weird about it is, you know, we get back here and we unhook it. The minute we unhook it, the brakes work in the truck. I remember that. For that night, I don't even know why. The brakes worked in the truck. Like, instantly. Yep. Huh. But then the next day, they didn't. Well, and then I'm like, dude, like, you need a new truck. Like, I'd like to make it to and from the track. You know, I have to try. If something happens there, whatever. You know, it's meant to be there. But I'd at least like to make it there and make it home if possible. And this ain't no joke. I got on racingjunk.com. Yep. And I found a toter home that was over in Maryland. Screenshotted it. Huh. Sent it to Chase. I said, I'm on my way to look at this right now. He said, are you buying it? I said, yep. I've not seen it yet. I went over there and I looked at it. I put it through the ringer. I've owned multiple RVs before this, but I started looking at it and I sent Chase a text message back. I'm like, yo, this is definitely us. And then that's when we started
well, we only really had like, I guess 3 or 4 races with that toterhome, and then 2020 hit.
Well, yeah, because basically I'd say the first trip we did take with that toterhome was when we did Susquehanna, and then we did Grandview.
That was a damn.
So in another deal, like I was saying, don't know much about these sprint cars, don't know anything. Well, so the guy that was helping him at the time was like, oh, well, here's like some notes on like what you should do based on the track conditions and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this thing looks like it's going to be a breeze. Like, no problem. Well, we show up to the track, and I call the guy because, we're set up for it to be super tacky, super wet, super gripped up. And call him, and I said, hey, man, yeah, it looks like Nevada out here. There's not an ounce of water on the track, and I know we're not set up correctly. Well, he thinks I'm bullshitting him. I'm like, no, man, it's not. Like, there literally has been no water on the track. Well, that whole night, I literally learned everything about a sprint car because I changed everything on the car that one night.
No joke, man. We just threw the kitchen sink at it.
Yeah.
And then I go out there, and he calls me a gasser because I will burn the tire. Every time I burn up a set of tires in a heat race.
Basically,
like,
if there was qualifying, we'd be a winner. Like, that man is a qualifier.
Yeah.
100%.
Fast laps on the gas?
Yeah.
Hot lap hero.
He's a qualifier. 100%.
I go out there, and I'll never forget this. We started like, what, 17th or 18th that night or something?
It was something.
We were deep in the field, and I came all the way up to I came up to second, burnt my tires off. We had a caution, and I got past with a green, white checkered, and I was, coming to the checkered flag, like, you want to be like nice and straight coming down the straightaway. I'm hanging out like this, and I come in, and Chase said, well, we need to find a tire truck for tomorrow night because we didn't have the right stagger for the next night. I got out of the car, and the thing looked like this floor. It was so smooth.
Should not have made it.
You know what like a drag tire looks like? That's what it looked like.
So that's not good.
Yeah, basically
that's not what you want.
But our tire budget's more than probably most race budgets because I just go through. I like being on the gas. It feels good. The car reacts better on the gas than off the gas. But I don't know. Maybe
I mean, it's honestly a good thing we sprint car race because if he was still late model racing, we'd never make 100 laps ever.
No, there's no way.
There's no way.
We'd
never make it.
Yeah,
we'd have to pit 3
times.
times.
The hell out of some cars.
We'd literally have to pit 3 times.
That would not work out well.
It'd be a problem.
Remember that heat race the other week? I blew the left rear and the right rear smack off the car. Now the track was a little bit more dry than normal, so I mean.
Oh yeah. I mean, we made it 8 laps and the tires were junk.
That's fun.
It was great.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
It's super nice. So I still haven't dialed in how to sipe it and groove a tire because however I've done it so far, he's burning up every single way.
I already hear it.
So
river behind the track with some water down.
I only said that like twice.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm still trying to like try new things to help keep him a tire. That's a big spider, dude. Holy
You see that dog?
Where?
that thing is huge. You'll see him move barely. He's like right next to that picnic table. He's like right next to that picnic table. Like, see, hold on, watch. Here, watch. He'll move.
Oh, damn! Get a gun. Let me go get my gun.
That is huge.
That thing.
You sure it ain't a rat? The lights are blinding right now.
That thing was huge. I don't know where he's at now.
Looks like a tarantula walking around.
All right, y'all. Well, this is the end of this podcast because my luck, that little is going to come around here and crawl up my chair.
He's going to just come down. Then but knowing him, he's going to get bit, and then he's going to be the next Spider-Man. All this luck he has.
There's not enough time in podcast land for all the stories.
I'll tell you what.
No, the worst part is there has to be like a part 2 to this because as much we got to talk about.
We didn't talk about the feature. We didn't get to anything. We're talking about heat race still.
We haven't actually, no.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we somehow got to Susquehanna and Grandview.
Yeah,
back to like square one.
We got off topic, but I mean, I tell you what, here's what we'll do. Let's get this podcast to 5,000 likes. It's on the vlog channel, not the main channel. Clearly.
If you can too, because we'll fix this hole in the ceiling because I'm getting rained on.
So 5,000 likes on this video, and we'll maybe talk about a subject where the golden horseshoe that you all say.
Oh, he has one. It's not like in say so. He has one. It's just like this. Back to me wrecking my pit bike. Well, so he has somehow the bright idea to water concrete because it's going to make it better.
Yeah, way better.
For some reason, way better. Well, obviously he has a salesman type of like personality. So he talks me into me trying it first. Hey, you go do it. You know what you're doing. You go test it.
Yeah.
Well, so I eat shit the first time. Not as bad. I mean,
That's how his other leg got
messes up
messed
this leg. And so afterwards, he just says, when you have 3 racers and they're all racing together, someone's bound to get hurt. Well, what the hell happened?
Manifestation.
Yeah, obviously Chase gets hurt.
Was I wrong? Somebody got hurt.
Yeah,
You called it.
You know what the best part is? Everything he does say never happens to him. Every time.
Goldenrod over here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. I don't know.
Hate it.
I could use a milkshake right about now. I feel like
On that note, we're ending this podcast. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for viewing, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. We will see you in the next one. And if you get 5,000 likes on the video, we'll talk about some certain situations.
Well, it's just like I'm gonna do like a quick little thing about it. We started 9th, and we got a lot of gifts from God, and we finished 4th. It was terrible, and I'm so glad the race was over.
Oh, hey, we talked about the feature. Yep. That's awesome.
And big shout out to easyfinancetrucks.com and also Be Electric, Velveeta, Scott Baylor Racing Engines, Elite Lubricants, everybody who helps put this thing on the racetrack and keep this thing fast. Huge shout out to Chase. Huge shout out to the videographer here.
Yeah, cameraman
Mr.
Chris.
Baird. Cameraman, as Mandy
Cameraman,
calls him.
cameraman
Mandy don't
Chris.
even call him by his... He gets so mad.
Yo, okay, but I feel your pain. Because I do all the Facebook Lives on the ride home. I do a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And there was one comment that finally ticked me off on Instagram when you posted a picture of us leaving to Kentucky and you tagged CJ in the driver's seat and he's not even in the picture. And he goes, man, you, Chris, and CJ look amazing. Like no one knows who I am. Like I'm Chris.
Chase who?
Yeah, exactly.
What are the 3 C's?
That's everything. I mean, that's
CC,
even
Triple C Ranch.
That's even in me looking at the Facebook Live. Oh, Chris, you're doing a great job of holding the phone.
Yeah. I just feel like I have a name.
Yeah. Wow. I'd never.
Mandy keeps calling him cameraman.
At least she calls you something.
I mean, I could call her something
She doesn't
too,
even
but
say my,
Yeah, she doesn't even talk to you.
Yeah,
She's just like,
say my
hey.
name. Yeah, she just hit me with the courtesy hi.
that's fine. I see her in Axel.
Yeah, hi. Nothing like my stepfather and your dad used to race a lot.
Mandy, shout out to you. We do love you.
Not a shout out.
We're
to
not
you.
picking after you,
right.
but
Not a shout out to you. Absolutely.
She's all right.
Yeah, you YouTuber.
Us YouTuber folks, we're just different.
I mean, if I had like a Dirt Track Untold T-shirt, maybe I'd think differently. But
I don't even want that. I want a Mike Mahaney T-shirt.
I want to support. The
I
whole
have
crew.
3 now Dirt Track Untold pieces of merchandise. I got the maroon one.
See,
I got
I'm gonna look right into the
black
camera on that
shirt.
one too. Look at that golden horseshoe stuff. He's got 3 of them. Chris, how many do we have combined? We have 0.
0.
I didn't even want one of them. I just want a Mike Mahaney T-shirt.
She told
And
us she won't give them for us either.
And like
she won't do it.
and like a like a Billy Pouch T-shirt.
Something. Give me something.
I'll take one of them. I don't need a Dirt Track and
Sorry, crew
T-shirt.
chief. Can't do that for you.
I used to
Sorry,
not know if he
cameraman.
liked me or not until he waved at me the other day, and I was like,
Did he?
"Oh, hey,
Who, the dad or the kid?
the kid, Billy Jr." No, I'm just kidding. We talked before, but I've never gone up to him and carried on full-fledged conversation. So
I think that's why I also liked coming into the sprint car racing. I don't know anybody. I literally don't know anybody.
Yeah, same here.
So now the problem is I'm with him, so they all hate me.
Yeah.
he might fall.
Here goes his rig
like-
pulling in. It's like an Empire State Building moving across the land. Here it comes. we can't ever just slide into the race quietly, sneak
Like
in.
I'm saying, we're
Nope.
we're in
There
little
comes CJ.
we're in little town Paducah, Kentucky, hoping to not get seen, and then guess what? We get seen. It's a never-ending battle.
Ever.
All right, everybody, we're logging on this podcast.
I got some words for you too. So just get ready for part 2.
Jesus.
Get ready for
He
part
does
2.
not. He does
Part
not.
fucking 2.
He does not.
I'm just kidding. I don't even know who you are.
Not. He does not at all.
We're gonna mute his mic for the next podcast. No, calm down, Chris. Calm down. It's okay.
You might as well just say the whole thing.
We're beeping all that out. Love y'all
We're
so
not
much.
beeping that out. That's
We'll
staying
see
in.
you on the next
staying
one.
in.
Everybody do this to it.
Well, no, I'm going to say this. Hello, my name is Chase. It's CHACE. It's not Chris.
At Chase Byron on Instagram. Follow him. Ladies, slide in the DM. Send him a message. Send him some news.
Oh, God, don't do
Send
this.
him anything.
Because then the same thing's going to happen to Dylan.
Sure, you're going to lose him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Ellen.
so that's another thing. Yeah. If you were a videographer, cameraman, editor, CJ is going to be looking for one because Chris,
Crew
sooner
chief
or
and
later,
crew chief.
is going to have to get He's going to be the next one. He's going to be the next one. So if you are pretty good at all of that, please apply. And you can apply to me. I'll let you know if you're qualified or not. Most of you will not be.
Chase just wants you to be blonde.
Best way of
drive a Chevy truck.
Best way of working for CJ. Do you have a girlfriend? If you do, you're out.
He's not wrong. You can't live this lifestyle. Like
you want to work for CJ? You got a girlfriend? She gotta go.
I'll call her. I'll let her know.
Yeah. Okay.
See y'all on the next
Sim
one.
Daddy Chris.